Then came the 9 o'clock hour. And Brian, you know what that meant. Like Mussolini got fired by Tony, and now he's in the WWE. Oh, it's the cult of draw me money, please. Now with more money
Oh,
and viewers too. Mindy's Bakery's open 7 days a week now. All right.
oh, come on. That's not like you to give up halfway through the song. You didn't prepare more.
I'm unprepared.
That was good.
But no, but that's again, you look at here at the 9 o'clock hour now, which he even referenced. That's the first thing he said. Hey, for those of you who haven't noticed, it's the top of the 9 o'clock hour. I'm in the middle of the show. I'm not going to get my time cut. So go ahead and chant all you want. Because it became a thing that he got his time cut before. But this was what, first of all, the music plays. He gets the ovation, the music, the singing, the chants. He's wearing the Hell Froze Over shirt. The announcer is a free agent. Where will he sign? Bradshaw put him over big. And now he had the time to do the promo. He had 12 or 13 minutes instead of 6. And yet again, this was what we needed. He not only did his normal thing where he talks like a reasonable person and connects with people, but then he starts firing up a little bit. So you want to see the prickly CM Punk? Well, I can do that. And he starts mentioning people. He asks the fans, Raw or SmackDown? Which one do you want to see me go to? And he gets them fired up in that. Do you want to see me throw out 29 other stars in the main event, or 29 other stars in the Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania? And that gets chance. And then, he references people we talked about earlier in the show, and we'll rehash it here because it's been a while. All of the other baby faces that he has to interact with, there's a different level of acceptance of him by them. Going from Seth Rollins completely, fuck this fucking guy, all the way to Cody shaking his hands, welcome back, old friend, and everything in the middle. And, he starts off right at the top, the old friend who welcomed me back the most, which we later find out. Or we find out pretty much here, Cody says, what do you want to talk about? But maybe it should be more like, who do you want to talk about? And, he mentioned the spicy shit, but now he's more comfortable now that he's got back home. He's going to put the feet up on the couch. And he mentions Roman, I acknowledge you. Congratulations. Epic reign. Don't forget who the OG Heyman guy is. He was my wise man first. So now that's open. And he shouted out Jey Uso. But now does he need to fight with Jimmy and Solo? If he needs backup, can I tag with Orton? Because somebody wouldn't want to tag with me. Maybe like LA Knight or Kevin Owens. And then that's when he hit the fucking line. Kevin Owens, he punches people in the locker room and backstage. You can't do that in 2023. That's insane. And like we said at the top of the program, the people didn't react. There was a few, but for the most part, that audience doesn't know. But you saw the smirk on his face. That wasn't a reaction line.
That's also one of the Bucks pals that he's talking about, Owens.
Well, yes. And also the fact that he said that and smirked at the camera and looked right at Cucamonga when he said it and then moved on to the other stuff that he's going to say that draws money. And if they wanted to be childish, he could make childish remarks on a program watched by 4 times as many people. But it worked both ways. And, again, for the target audience that, likes that kind of thing, that's the kind of thing those people like. And he mentioned everybody's really welcomed me back except that one guy who's got a whiny voice and he's not even the man in his own household. Boom, shots fired.
I'm a visionary.
Well, if he's a visionary, he should have seen that one coming. But anyway, and so then we're going to find out on Monday at Raw where I'm going to sign. And everybody that I've mentioned has one thing in common. CM Punk is in their way. And everybody's talking about finishing stories. Well, I'm back to finish what I started, and that's to main event WrestleMania. And boom. He mentioned people. He set a goal for himself. He teased the fans with where he might go and what he might. You want to see me throw out 29 other guys? Of course they do. There's directions all over the place. There's multiple things set up. There's a stated goal. Other people that have stories to finish their stories would mean that he might not be able to finish his story. So at what point does that become more important than friendship? Because somebody said he wasn't here to make friends. He's here to make money. So all the people that he's shaking hands with now, that may or may not last. And yeah, it's questions for fans that's what Vince used to in the smaller production meetings with the creative team and the agents, not the broader ones. And the announcers he'd say, are we telling stories? Are we getting them to ask questions? Not because they don't know what's going on, but are they asking the questions we want them to ask? We want them to be anticipating these things that they're going to make themselves want to see. That's Vince's shit. And that's honestly fucking common sense. So that's what they did here. And again, it was 12 minutes, not 6. Mentioned names, stated a goal, got a little more prickly, got under some people's skin without trying to do a smart fucking promo that nobody understood. I say bravo for this one. What do you think?
I thought it was great. It was exactly what it kind of needed to be. The Raw promo was so disappointing. There was no time for it. The crowd was into it other than the Bucks line because no one knows anything about it. I thought it was really good, and they've done a great job a month and a half, 2 months out from making you want to see that Royal Rumble. What's going to happen? Multiple people have already declared. They made a big deal out of Cody just declaring himself that he's going to be in it. And now Punk's kind of said he's going to be in it, so they're already building that Rumble up, and I'm looking forward to it.
But think of the number of people for once this year that you would want to see, or some segment of fans, not just one guy in a fucking, basement in Cleveland, but large numbers of fans would want to see Cody win, would want to see Punk win, would want to see LA Knight win, would want to see Jey Uso win, would want to, and Orton win. You can tell the story. Jey Uso wants to win to fight his fucking cousin again.
Everyone has a story. That's the great thing. I mean, he said it. Punk said it in that
Knight
promo.
Wants to get even for fucking the other month over there in Saudi Arabia. Cody has to finish his story. Punk has to achieve his goal. Everybody has a different singular reason for needing to win the Royal Rumble.
And again, Punk brought up he's the OG Paul Heyman guy. So there's the thing that immediately ties him somehow into the Bloodline story. Just actual history.
If he was to win to face Roman Reigns, can you see Roman looking like, wait a minute, can I really trust you, wise man? And they've already had the kerfluffle in the past over Brock.
Do you get a title shot automatically, Roman Reigns, or because there's a new championship with Rollins, is that on equal footing? You have to pick which one? Because this is the first year it's been there.
Well, that's a good question, and I would think you would get to pick, much like if the Money in the Bank briefcase can pick, can't the winner of the Royal Rumble pick?
So you have that dynamic too, because they are building up Rollins Punk without either one saying the other one's name.
Yeah, well, and I don't think it's not going to be Punk and Roman, but I'm saying that if you did that, there's a story to it. If somebody gets hurt, you change your mind. Okay, we got to do this. Well, there's stories to all of this shit. So you got different ways to go. But I think Punk and Rollins and Cody and Roman, if they don't have The Rock and Who knows? Rocks are harder to get a hold of these days.
Does AEW look worse and worse every day that goes by that CM Punk doesn't punch someone in the face? Or make someone scared for their life?
I think he's too busy giving out free neck rubs and aromatherapy treatments. And then after this interview in the back, they had him outside the Bloodline door, and he raised his hand like he was going to knock, and he's thinking about it, and he says, fuck it. He turns away, and there's Owens. And they kind of exchanged tense words and somewhat of a reluctant, I can't remember, his handshake, fist bump, but it was like, yeah, we're good. Okay. So it wasn't love and tenderness, but it wasn't, we're going to fight on sight.
But he just called him out, even in kayfabe, he just called him out in the ring. So I thought it was an interesting, short, simple segment. I like it. Again, where are they going to go with these two now?
Hopefully not far for long.
And then when Punk walks off, Owens is walking the other way. He stops and turns around to see Punk where he's going.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna be looking over his shoulder. You never can tell.